All right, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're all welcome once again to another session of our Arabic fluency course, 12-month Arabic fluency course. And this is another episode of our grammar lesson. And so in this lesson, we'll look at module 7. We treat module 7. So we completed module 6 and we'll look at module 7. We are still looking at Al-Ma'rifah. We said that there are 7 types of Ma'rifah, 7 categories of Al-Ma'rifah. We have the Al-Alam, there's a proper noun. We have the Dhamir, there's a pronoun. We have the Ism al-Ishara, the demonstrated pronouns. We have Al-idofah, which is the one we are going to be treating today. Al-idofah. But basically, we have Al-mudhaf ila al-ma'rifah. Al-mudhaf ila al-ma'rifah. It's the one that is under this topic, which is Idofah to a ma'rifah noun. So, but we cannot talk about Idofah to Ma'rifah now without talking about Al-Idofah as a whole topic itself, so we can understand what it is. And we have Al-Mawsul. Ism Al-Mawsul, that's the 5th one. We have Al-Munada, and we have Al-Muhalla, Bil-Alif wal-Lam. So these are the 7 types of categories of nouns that we have as Ma'rifah. So let's quickly rush through Al-Idofah. So I think most of us here have learned Al-Idofah before. We've talked about it in our previous lessons. So I believe so. Sister Mutia, have you also have an idea of Al-Idofah? We've learned it before, right?
نعم.
So that case would not take too much because we already understand it. So, but let's have an overview of what Al-Idofah is. We said it is the connection between a relationship between 2 nouns, or a noun and a pronoun. And so we said that in a broad view, this can be categorized or divided into 2: a connection between 2 nouns. That is connection between 2 nouns, and we can have connection between a noun and a pronoun. So for connection between 2 nouns, we can have this. That is, we can have a noun to a ma'rifah noun. We can have a noun to a nakira noun. And this part is what is categorized under al-ma'rifah. This part is a ma'rifah. So the moment you have, you have a noun to a ma'rifah noun, that noun becomes a ma'rifah. So that's what the one we called al-mudhaf ila al-ma'rifah. A word added to a ma'rifah, and that is a ma'rifah. This other one is a word added to a nakira, which we said is a nakira, but we said by the same syntax, by meaning, it's not a nakira. So if it is not a nakira by meaning, what is it exactly? What did we say? When you add a noun to a nakira noun, what does that noun become?
Al-Mukhassas.
Barakallahu fiqh. We say it becomes al-mukhassas. And I'm going to explain in later for some of us who probably might have forgotten. So, al-mukhassas. Now, generally, you call it nakira, because by the structure, by the virtue of being added to a nakira, it becomes a nakira. The same way adding a ma'rifah, a noun to a ma'rifah makes it a ma'rifah. So we say it is nakira. But when you look in depth on the background of the meaning, okay, we call it al-mukhassas, like we've said. Now, let's look at the first one. Let's look at the first one properly. Now we look at some of these expressions. Basically, we said relationship. Al-idofah can give us a relationship of possession. In most cases, that's what al-idofah gives you. In a more advanced level, you'll learn about the types of idofah. Okay, we have idofah to al-mahd and different other types of idofah. That is for the advanced level. But even more advanced level. And it's something that once you learn this, there's something you can read up yourself because they're just additional, knowledge and other than that. So Halima's bag, color of the house, the fragrance of Jannah, the teacher's car, his phone, their book, and all of that, they are expressions of possession. And so we say we can do the same in Arabic. We can express all of these in Arabic using Al-idofah. So let's look at the first category, a noun to a ma'rifah. Baytul rajuli. Baytu al-rajul. Al-rajul is a ma'rifah. So another ma'rifah we have, from what we mentioned, we say hadha is a ma'rifah because it's an ismul ishara. Who, that is huwa, here, who, we have talked about different types of pronoun. We say we have the independent pronouns, that is what's it called? ضمير المنفصل. And we have ضمير متصل, the one that we attach. Here, منفصل, it can stand on its own, and we have ha, which attaches. So these pronouns, or these hadha, or these pronouns, they are all ma'rifah. So when you add a noun to them, so you are still adding a noun to a ma'rifah. That's what we are talk about here, a noun to a ma'rifah. So بيت الرجل موقف السيارة بيت المعلم كتاب هذا. We say كتاب هذا. هذا is a ma'rifah. So we say كتاب هذا. Now we have حقيبة حليمة. We know the reason for this. حقيبة حليمة. And we said كتاب هذا. Nothing changes for هذا. But something changes for موقف سيارتي بيت المعلم. Everything ends in كسرة. But when we get here, حقيبة حليمة, we have حليمة instead of حليمتي. Okay, so we all know this, and this is as a result of, because we have some nouns that are called ممنوع من الصرف. ممنوع من الصرف, they're called deep taught. So we've talked about them anyways, but we talk a little bit more about them here too. In our Medina book, there's a section where al-mamnu' min al-sarf are treated. There are about 6 or 7 of them, types of them, that we look at. And one of them is these names, feminine names, 4-letter, that are 4-letter and above. So, حقيبة حليمة, لون البيت, ولد عائشة, بيت زين, بنت, we're supposed to say bintu, not beitu, bintu Zainabah. And it's okay if we even say beitu, but we meant bintu in this case, bintu Zainabah. So we have a fatha as well. All of these are idofah expressions. Yes, so because the class has to be communicative, can someone translate this? The student's shoe. The student's shoe. Yeah, let's quickly go over that. The student's shoe. Yeah, do I have to call your name? Sister Mutia, can you try? Yes, let's go. Let's go. This is not shouldn't be time taking.
إذا
Yeah?
إذا طالب.
Okay.
إذا طالب.
Either it has to be, yeah, that's a good one. It has to be either there's nothing that makes it fatha. Yeah?
إذا
Hida'u
هو.
talibi. Barakallahu fiqh. Hida'u at-talib. You have to say at-talib because we said the student. Okay, so hida'u at-talib. Hida'u at-talib. Yeah, so we put it together by saying hida'u at-talibi. Hida'u at-talibi. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, barakallahu fiqh. So, yeah, the man's book. Yeah, Sister Mutia, you again? The man's book, how do you put that?
كتاب الرجل.
Kitabur rajuli. Right.
Rajuli.
Yes.
Kitabul
Again, please.
Rajuli.
Again.
Kitabul Rajuli.
You are saying kitabul, and we talked about Shamsiyya letter and Qamariyya letter in our very first class. Is Ra a Shamsiyya letter or Qamariyya letter?
Shamsia.
Yes,
It's a
Shamsiyya.
Shamsia letter.
Yes, it's a Shamsiyya letter. Otherwise, so in that case, as a result, you don't pronounce this lam. This lam will not be pronounced. So, Kitabur Rajul. Can you say that again? Kitabur Rajuli.
Kitabul Rajuli.
Barakallah fiqh. That's beautiful, impressive. So please take note of that. Now, the sleeper of the girl. Can someone else help us with this? The sleepers of the girl. Yes, please, let's move on quickly. It's no time. This is not time wasting. Yeah, the sleeper of the girl.
نعم البنت اسمها شبشب البنت.
Shibshibul bint. Shibshibul bint. Yeah, someone was saying na'al, right? Did someone say na'alul binti? Okay, so I mean that's correct as well. Okay, shibul bint. Na'al, yeah, na'al is also something, footwear. Footwear. So it's more of a general terminology than shib. Okay, barakallah fiqh. So we're good. Okay. So now, we have all of the Bayt al-Rajul and all of that we mentioned. Now let's look at the language tip. Okay, so let's pay attention here. We mentioned that the above expressions, they are connection between a noun and a ma'rifah. So which makes the other part of the noun become a ma'rifah as well. So we said, therefore, the first word which is connected to a noun, that is connected to the ma'rifah, is a ma'rifah. It is a ma'rifah. So Baytul Rajul, Baytu here is connected to a Rajul, and a Rajul is a ma'rifah. So Baytu has become a ma'rifah. So we said that because Baytu is connected to a Rajul. So it is a ma'rifah as well, just like a Rajul itself. So by proxy, it becomes a ma'rifah. So I've always said that if you have who you are connected yourself to, you are who you are connected to. If you connect to a good friend, you are a good person. If you're connected to a bad friend, you are seen as a bad friend. Your company defines who you are. So that is what's happening here. Because Baytul works with a Rajul, which is a Marifa, so it becomes a Marifa. If you work with honorary people, you become honored. And when you work with people who are disgraceful, so you are something like them too. So, and we already have discussed this one. If you have a nakra that is added to a noun that is added to a nakra, so we mentioned that you can answer this in two parts. You can say it is nakira. So, and from that aspect, you are looking at the structure. Okay, but you can also say it is mukhassas, but you have to define it. It is nakira awesomely, generally. You're looking at what you see, and it is mukhassas, looking in depth into the meaning, explaining why it is mukhassas. And so we mentioned that, if, for example, we say kitabu rajulin, a rajulin is a man. It is indefinite. The kitab is what we see. We probably see the kitab. We know the book we are talking about, but we don't know the man, the kind of a man that owns it. Tall, short, white, or black, we don't know. So in that case, the book is connected to something already. So we say it is not, by meaning it's not nakira, because it's connected to something. But that thing to which it is connected is not known, is indefinite. So, and that's the only thing. So that's why we say mukhasas is connected to something already. As opposed to when you say a pen, That pen is not connected to anyone, not connected to a male nor a female, is not connected to a kid or an adult. So that one is, by meaning and by structure, it is a nakira completely, as opposed to one that is connected to something already. Okay, so that's why we say it is mukhassas. Now let's look at these terminologies. So we also know that the two parts, kitab al-rajuli, kitabu is the first part, so we call it mudaf. The second part is al-rajul, it is mudafun ilayhi, so we call it mudafun ilayhi. Okay, so those are the things we knew already. So let's take that. And we also talked about the mudaf, the features of mudaf. So we said the mudaf, which is the first part of the two parts, it must not have alif lam. It must not have tanween. Okay? And then we said that if it is connected to a mudaf that is ma'rifa, it's ma'rifa. If it's connected to a mudaf that is nakira, we say it's a nakira. You know, going back the general structure now. So Baytul Mal, house of money. Al-Mal is ma'rifa, so Bayt is also ma'rifa. So let's take Bayt. That Bayt does not have alif and lam. Let's take note of that. Because it's mudaf, it does not have alif and lam. There are cases when you can have alif and lam, but that is even more advanced. That is when you are dealing with al-idofah mahad. But this is not a place for it at all. Something you can learn maybe later on. So, but the principle, the basic thing, the common thing that you will ever find is this. The other one, where you can have alif and lam, that's an optional stuff. It's just extra. Okay, it's just extra knowledge. Okay, so that's what we have there. Mudafun ilayhi. Let's look at the characteristics. Mudafun ilayhi, it can either be ma'rifa or nakra. Number two, mudafun ilayhi must always take a kasra at the end if it is a singular or broken plural. Emphasis on singular or broken plural. That is only when it will take a kasra. So we have qalamu zaydin, imamul masajidi. Qalamu zaydin, imamul masajidi. So we have all of this. And I think we all know this already. So another tip is, we said al-alam. Okay? Al-alam, a proper noun, it remains a proper noun. It remains a ma'rifah, whether it carries a tanween or not. Muhammadun is still a ma'rifah. Zaydun is a ma'rifah. So the fact that it has tanween does not change anything, because it's the name of a person. It's proper noun. Now the word masajid is a broken plural of masjid. Now let's take note of something, because I need you to write something right here. Masajid is on the pattern of mafa'il. Yeah? So any other words, any other nouns that is on the pattern of mafa'il or mafa'il. Are we together? Miftahu mafatih. Yes? So mas'ala, masail. Now, any noun that, any plural that has mafa'il, and some other ones, is going to be a deep thought. It's going to be mamnur min as-sarf. If, please take note of this, it's going to be mamnur min as-sarf, that is a deep thought, even only if it doesn't have alif and lam. Please take that. So masajid, as it is, masajid is going to be a deep thought without this alif lam. Masajidu, not masajidun. Masajidu with a dhamma. A deep thought or mamnu' min as-sarf is a set of a noun that does not take tanween. Yeah, and it can only go through the i'rab, can go through all the three cases, rafu, nasbu, and jarru, only by two vowels, dhamma and fatha. It doesn't take kasra. Kasra, no. Dhamma, fatha, yes. So it doesn't take kasra. So it takes fatha in a place where it's supposed to take kasra. So that's why we call it deep throat. I've already explained deep throat a little bit, but when we get to that place, we talk more about deep throat or mamnu. Deep throat, that is two. D. It refers to two things. Two things. They always go through Dhamma and Fatha in all three cases. In the Rafu case, Dhamma. In the Nasbu case, Fatha. In the Jar case, it takes Fatha again, where it is supposed to take a Kasra. Are we good, please? Is that taken? So,
No.
Masajid and any other nouns in the pattern of Mafa'il or Mafa'il, they will be deep throat if the Alif Lam is not there. So it should take the place of Fatimata, Waladu Zainaba, Bintu Fatimata, Waladu Aishata. So you say Imam what? Can someone say the Imam of masjids, of mosques? We are not saying the mosques now, but we say the mosque. So how do we say that? Using this as an nakra. Imam what?
Masajida.
Exactly. So we say the Imam of masjids, that is Imam of mosques. We are not saying the mosques. So we say masajida. Imamu masajida. Imam masajida. But the moment you add alif and lam to it, yes, it has become mutasarrif. Okay? It has become, mutasarrif. Qabilatun litasarrufi. The sarfi. Now, so that is why we say Imamul Masajidi with the kasra because of this alif lam. If it doesn't have it, it becomes Imamul Masajida. Okay, so I think that's understood, right? Does everyone understand that?
No.
Okay, so I've already have a response from Bilal Fa'ilun, so I believe everyone else have understood it. Okay, so I'll take your silence for yes. Now,
Please, I wanted to ask a question.
yes.
Does this rule apply to all deep throats?
Yeah. Okay, the rule. Which rule again? No. Okay, the rule that if it doesn't take alif lam, right?
Yes, once it appears in a position where it takes alif and lam.
Yeah, it is basically limited to these alone because, of course, talking about other deep throats, we have the most other deep throats cannot take alif lam. So let me give an example. Other deep throats, for example, names of feminine, Aisha. You cannot say Al Aisha, right? You cannot say Al Fatima, right? You cannot say Al Halimata. Okay, all these pronouns, all these names, they cannot take alif lam. Okay, another one. We have another pattern. If you have any other nouns in the pattern of fa'lan, fa'lan, fa'lan or fu'lan. So, for example, Uthman. You can also say Al-Uthman. But the moment you say Al-Uthman, then it means it's out of the league of Idofah. But I don't think anyone can say Al-Uthman. We don't say Al-Uthman, we say Uthman. Because it's a proper noun. You cannot add alif and lam to a proper noun. Yes? So it becomes, so it doesn't have, Uthman cannot take Ramadan, for example. Ramadan is also a part of this. Shahru Ramadana, right? Shahru Ramadana alladhi unzila fihi al-Qur'an. Ramadana. You can never say Ramadani. And can we say Ar-Ramadan? We cannot say Ar-Ramadan. You cannot have alif and lam to it. So it is not possible to add alif and lam to it. So except if you now make it a nisbah. Okay, you say Al-Ramadani. Aha, because you have saying the person is Al-Ramadani. You have had a ya of nisbah or ya nasab to it. So it is no more in that league anymore. So but the moment it's still in this league, fa'lan, it remains this. But the moment you take it out of that league, something has happened to it, it becomes. Now another thing is, maybe you have two Uthman. So you say Uthman. So the moment you make it, it's still this way. Okay. So the moment you make it two, you're talking about two Uthman. So Uthmanan, right? Uthmanan, the two Uthman. Of course, it's no more it's no more diptot. It will take your normal, Uthmanain, and all of that. I think you understand that. So, in a nutshell, all other types of marifa, they cannot take alif lam reasonably. They cannot take alif lam, so they can, the rule does not affect them. But the moment you give them, let's say they can take it. The moment you give it to them, then the rule applies to them as well. But nouns in the mafa'il, those ones can take alif lam, of course. Barakallahu fiqh. So, Allahu alam. I think that's well explained, right?
No, no. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, you're welcome. Welcome, inshallah. So, now we are done with that. Okay, so the exceptions. We want to talk about the exceptions, and we've actually talked about it. So we say kitabu hada. Kitabu hada. This hada is mabni. They are mabniyun. What mabniyun is indeclinable nouns that has a fixed position. So kitabu hada. So it does not change. It is going through a latent change. Latent. That is, it's not obvious. Kitabu hada. We say مبني we say مبني على السكون في محل جر. That's what we say. مضاف إليه. So the إعراب of هذا, you say هذا مبني على السكون في محل جر مضاف إليه. So that's how we say. So you say مبني, it's مبني on سكون. هذا, the alif here has a sukun, so it is built on that. So كتاب هذا, it remains the same, but we say it is in the position of jar. So this is one of the things we'll learn. We'll talk about the three types of i'rab: i'rab al-zahiri, i'rab al-mahalli, and i'rab al-taqdiri. In this case, this is i'rab al-mahalli. Okay, so we talk about that. So it remains the same. It's just fixed on that point. Now, because we say it's invariable, mabni. So I mentioned that, mabni. So all ismul ishara, they are mabni, except when they become two. Adani, hatani, tanika. So the moment they become dual, that's muthanna, they become no more a mabni. So they become a mutasarrif. Okay, so that's for that. Now, we also mentioned the Aishata, waladu Aishata, Zainaba, bintu Zainaba. All of these, the only explanation is that they are mamnu' min as-sarf. They are mamnu' min as-sarf, and mamnu' min as-sarf does not take a kasra. It only takes dhamma and fatha. So, which we have explained in that case. Is a trait of all feminine pronouns, all feminine proper nouns. All feminine proper nouns that are four-letter words, whether physically feminine, that is, whether it is mudhakkaru ma'nawi or mudhakkaru lafzi. I've mentioned the types of pronoun. Gender we can have ma'nawi and lafzi. Ma'nawi by meaning. Some pronouns, some nouns are by meaning. They are, they are masculine. Some nouns are by meaning feminine, but when you look at them, you think they are masculine. So Hamza, for example, Hamzatu is a name of a man. By meaning is a man's name, is masculine, but looking at it is feminine. So that one, we call it mu'annathul lafzi, but mudhakkaru ma'nawi. By meaning, by the semantics, is masculine, but by the look, by the structure, it is feminine. So we have words like that. So that's what we mean by physically feminine or, literally feminine, whatever it is. So long as it is showing a sign of feminine and it's four-letter words and above, it is mamnu' min as-sarf. So Hamza, Talha. Okay, so they are in this range because they are feminine, they look feminine. So the same thing, Maryam, Zainab. Names like Maryam, Zainab, Suad, they are mu'annath ma'nawi, but they are mudhakkar lafzi. Looking at their love, looking at their structure, the way they appear, they don't have any sign of feminine there. Zainab does not have a tie, doesn't have any sign. Maryam, no sign. But we just know that by meaning they are masculine because they are names of, sorry, by meaning they are feminine because they are names of women, feminine names. So that's what we have there. So for the ones that looks like feminine but they are masculine, Talha, Hamza, Zakariya. Zakariya, it looks feminine because of this Hamza alif mamnuda. So this is the same case of Hidha. Hidha'un, it looks feminine as well, but we don't because of the alif al lam, but mostly we call it masculine, still masculine, even though it has that sign. So that's what I explained about Hidha the last time. So it's commonly used as masculine, though it might carry the Hamzatul Alif Mamduda, but that still does not necessarily make it a feminine. So we regard it as masculine. So all of these proper nouns don't take tanween and will not take kasra when in idofah. So they will take fatha. That's why we say waladu Fatimata bintu Zainaba, because they will not take kasra. And that is a trait of whole mamnu min as-sarf. And then we have some feminine names that 3-letter words like Hindun, Da'dun, and some other names like this. So you might find a few of them. All of these, they are not part of them because they are 3-letter words and they don't even show feminine names, but they are known, they are used as feminine names. So I think that
Sorry, those assalamu alaikum.
yes, wa alaikum salam.
The feminine name with which are 3-letter words.
Yes.
Should we treat them like deep thought as well? Or
No, they are not treated. They are exception. So that's why I said the only exception to these are some feminine proper nouns which are 3-lettered words and have sukun in the middle. Those are the traits. They have sukun in the middle. They are not treated. So Hindun, Da'dun, and we have many, but they are not very common. So that's why the list of examples are not very much. So the moment they are 3-letter words and they have sukun in the middle, then they are not they are not deep taught. So we come across some of these things when we get to some storybooks and some compositions, and so we can talk about them more.
Okay. Sorry, I also have another question.
Yes, please.
Sorry, the muzakkar manawi and muannas lafzi, like when we are referring to them, maybe in a nominal verbal sentence, maybe we say yes, habu, maybe
okay, Hamza. Do we say, for example, talking about Hamza, do we say Tadhabu Hamza? Do we refer it as a feminine? Okay. Yeah, thank you for that beautiful question.
Yeah.
When you have, for example, Talha, is mu'annath lafzi. By the structure, it looks feminine, but by the meaning, it looks what? It is masculine by meaning. So which one prevails? The meaning prevails. Yes. So I think I mentioned somewhere here. Said the meaning prevails. So you give prevalence to the meaning. So you treat it, Talha may look feminine, but you treat it as masculine because it is by meaning or by usage. It is what? It is masculine. So the usage or the meaning prevails. So I think I mentioned it somewhere here. So so the meaning prevails. In a nutshell, the meaning what prevails. So we have names like, for example, we have some feminine names, so some feminine nouns that look masculine. So for example, you have ha'ib. Ha'ib. Ha'ib is used for a woman. You will call a woman that is a menstruating woman, we call her ha'ib. There's an adult woman. An adult woman, she's ha'ib, but they doesn't have a tab. There's no need to put a tab because there is no man that menstruates. So why put a tab? And to say, okay, no, there's no need. So since there is no need, by usage, by meaning, ahil, anyone that hears it knows that you are talking about a female. because no man menstruates. So why need to put a ta, to say this is a feminine name and this no. So I think you understand that. So we also have hamil. Hamil in this case is used to mean a pregnant woman. Hamilun. So do we have to say hamila? No, we don't have to put a ta because a man does not, does not carry pregnancy. So there is no need. So by usage, hamil is a feminine. So when you are referring to it in your sentences, your verbal or nominal sentence, you treat it in oral ramification as a female, even though it looks like a male now, right? So the meaning or the usage prevails. Okay, is that taken?
No.
Yeah, so that's how we. And so, except if there are some words that can be treated as masculine and feminine at the same time, we mentioned some of them. Something like qidr, pot, something like what other nouns? Hal, the word hal, the word hal, hal. This word hal.
Shamsu and nar, yeah, suko.
Yeah. So this word hal can be treated as a masculine or feminine. So you can choose anyone. You can choose to say it is a feminine, and you use in no ramification. You can say, if someone say kayfa halu zawjatik, how's your wife's condition? Or let's say, how's your husband's condition? Say haluhu jayyida, right? Haluha jayyida. I say jayyida. Why? Because I choose to refer hal as a feminine. And someone else says haluhu jayyid. His condition or her condition is good. You both are right because they can both be masculine and feminine at the same time. So it depends on what you choose. So those words are, but for these feminine of a thing that we're talking about, you give prevalence to the meaning or the usage. I think that's understood, right?
No.
Tabarakallah fikum. So if there's any further question? So we have an assignment here. So translation, Aisha's bag, Zainab's phone. So may not give us any further assignment on this because they just have it at. I think I gave us 5 assignments already, so I think that should be enough. So this one, please do it anyways. Do it. Let's do it. Very important. It might come out for the test or something like that. So let's do it. But I'm not requesting for it because I don't want us to be more, overwhelmed with a lot of assignment. So let's do everything necessary and get prepared for the test. And that's what's most important for now. So 5 assignments, I think that's okay, inshallah. But whatever I said, try to do it. Practice is an exercise because it might come out in the exam or in the test. So please, let's try to put a lot of effort in that. So now there's something we need to take note here. Imra'ah and al-mar'ah. I mentioned this. Imra'ah. The word imra'ah is nakira. But the moment you want to make it al-ma'rifah, it doesn't say al-imra'ah. You remove the amza and you add alif lam, becomes al-mar'ah. So this is applicable to most words that start with Hamzatul Wasl. Most words, not all of them. Imru'un, we have Imru'un. Imru'un, this word Imru'un, it means, it means person. A person, a man, generally it may be masculine or feminine, a person, human being, a person, just like that. Let's say person. Okay, so in this case, you want to say the person, al-mar'u. You don't say al-imru'u, you say al-mar'u. So person, human being, mankind, just general name that we use for people, person. So just like insan. Insan is not referring to anybody in particular. You're talking about human being, a person. Okay, so the same thing as al-mar'u. So imra'atun al-mar'ah. Do you understand that? So let's take note of these things. Imra'a al-mar'ah. Imra'un al-mar'u. So the plural of al-mar'ah is nisa. Okay, the plural of imra'a is nisa. The plural of al-mar'a is an-nisa. You see? Alif lam, alif lam. So I think that's understood, right? So imra'a nakira, al-mar'a ma'rifa. Barakallahu fikum. So we've come to the end of the lesson today. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us full understanding of the lesson and grant us barakah into whatever we learn. Bi'idhnillah. All right, so assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.